What's up, Gridiron Glory fans? I'm your MVL lead reporter, Scott MacDonald, alongside MVL reporter Noah Wolf. And we are here to break down this week's game between Maysville and Philo. So Noah, can you tell me how these two teams did last week, and how can we expect them to do better this week?
Yeah, both of these teams are coming off a big win last week. Philo won 42-14 over Coshocton. Isaac Gill had 13 carries for 69 yards and 1 touchdown. And he also went 11 for 16 in the passing game with 175 passing yards and a touchdown there as well. And Maysville last week beat West Muskingum 60-6, amassing 587 yards on offense. Carson Jarrett, their star running back, had 7 carries for 171 yards. That's a whopping 24.4 yards per carries with 4 rushing touchdowns. And Connor Sidwell, their quarterback, fared pretty well as well, going 2 for 4 for 78 yards. Both of those passes for touchdowns. He also ran the ball twice for 76 yards of his own. Now, I think we can expect both of these teams to continue with their high-octane offenses this week.
All right, you mentioned the offenses. Now give me some players to watch in this game.
Yeah, I mentioned a couple of them. Obviously, for Philo, Isaac Gill is their main man. Over this year, he's had 117 carries for 588 yards. That's 5 yards per carry for the entire year. And as well, he's a great quarterback, 73 for 118 on the season with 985 passing yards. If there's anything happening on the Philo offense, it's most of the time happening through Isaac Gill. Now for Maysville, I mentioned both of them as well. Carson Jarrett is their star running back. He's 93 carries for 804 yards, 8.6 yards per carry on the season so far. And Connor Sidwell, their quarterback, 43 for 64, 583 yards on the season. Not nearly as much as Gill in the passing game, but still a sizable, great quarterback there for Maysville, and those are your players to watch. For sure.
And now both these teams are 5-2, and they look even, at least on paper. Now, but which one has the advantage in this one?
Well, I mentioned some of the stats as far as rushing and passing. I think Philo has a more balanced offense in general, relying just about equally on their running game and passing game, whereas Maysville favors the run more. But you mentioned the records. They're both 5-2, but they've played 4 of the same opponents. Now, Philo in those 4 games has won all 4 of them. They beat Crooksville, West Muskingum, John Glenn, and Sheridan. Maysville in those 4 games lost to Sheridan and to John Glenn. So I think Philo has had some tougher opponents, and that's where their losses come from, whereas Maysville has lost to some of the teams that Philo has beaten.
So can you give me a prediction for this game?
I think it's going to be a really close one. These 2 teams are pretty evenly matched, but Philo will take it in the end.
You got a score?
27-24.
And that'll do it for us. I'm your MVL lead reporter. Thank you, Noah, for all your work, and we will see you Friday